Yeah, welcome to another, excuse me, get my voice cleared. Welcome to another video. This isn't a tutorial, more or less a behind the scenes, what I'm kind of doing in about the last month or two before I have to go back to the reality world and get out of the virtual world. But anyways, I'm having fun with my little retirement as it is. Now what you're seeing here, like I said, this isn't a tutorial. This is basically my notes. And you're seeing a bunch of numbers on here that absolutely, for most people, would mean gibberish. On the left-hand side, I list down the track numbers, just a graph paper. And this is behind the scenes of how I get the RTS to basically print out nice clear reports. Now as you can see, this last one I got a line across. I'm working on Mojave track 2, for example, and I got 4 more. Those numbers are actually part of the system, and as you can see I got 318, 321, 325 and 323. I think that's what it looks like. I can't even read my own writing. That's not good because I got to get those numbers right. Anyways, I'll figure it out in a minute. But put this back up in here. I'll show you where those numbers are coming from exactly. Just so you see my wacko methodology behind the madness here. This is the matrix with basically all the different, like I got different industries. Everything listed in the matrix now is basically an industry calling for a way bill. So everything is now coming from a shipper to a receiver in the system. It's just not a matter of moving cars anymore, it's moving commodities. And if I go into Lone Pine, I'll probably find out those numbers, and there's the numbers down here. So 318, and those numbers were right, except they're both 325. One looks like a 3, so I'll change that. So 318, 321, 325, and 325 are the last ones. This was a cut of empty cars that was left earlier today, and all I'm doing is, at night, while I can still see and basically know what's going on, with my trusty flashlight, I can go ahead and set this all up. So, as you can see, if you might be able to see, destination tag's 315 on that last car. So if I go in and then the next one says none, all I have to do is type in 318. And you might think, well, that number is kind of ridiculous. And the next one, these are all empty hoppers. They're actually being used for potash for Lone Pine Branch. 321. And the last two are both 325. They can repeat. It's just calling random numbers. So if it's the same waybill number, it's like a blanket order. And then I already did a bunch of these earlier, so I just wanted to show you behind the scenes how this all works if you're interested. This isn't a tutorial, so don't worry. There's nothing here that you really have to learn about. This is basically some of the wacky stuff I do. As you can see, all the numbers are going behind what the car numbers actually are. I go in and I save it. MOJ6 was the last one I did. This one was actually an MOJ2, so MOJ2 is now complete. If I save that and I relinquish this, you can see my flashlight's on there so I can see at night what type of car it is if I need to be. But if I go in and I go into the RTS program itself, and it's more or less set up to call all this. I have all the industries that are on the spreadsheet are duplicated here. So what I see on the spreadsheet is random calls. I simply, I'm not using the program to do it. In layman's terms, I'm basically writing down what's on the spreadsheet. That's the last remaining thing that's on the spreadsheet. Everything else is automated because, as you can see, as soon as I hit the play button, it's going to be spitting out a very large report of every single thing that's on here. Now you can see there's a lot of text that's showing up on certain ones. Not all of them. Some of them are unassigned. But I'm scrolling up now to get to that track number to show you. And there it is. So if you look at Mojave 2, you might say, okay, well, it's all basically the same thing. But if you look at where they're all going, they're basically the same numbers, which means they take a lot. They're all going Sears Valley's Minerals via Lone Pine. What it does is it pulls up that invoice number. So Mojave 2, that just generated it based on my save. And if you go back to the spreadsheet for a second, yeah, as you can see, all the potash is basically going to Lone Pine as an empty. Now, you might think, well, okay, well, why do you have those different numbers in here? They're all going to Lone Pine Junction. Why do you need? They're all going to Sears Valley. The difference is, when you get over to the right-hand side, you might see the yellows and the greens. The greens, if you can't see what they are, those are basically set up to JR Simplot, which is on the UP Edison turn. The orange is going to Barback. Then I got a bunch going to West Colton. So Sears Valley Minerals produces a lot of potash, some of which would go to JR Simplot, some would go on to West Colton mainline trains, and a few rare ones would actually transfer over to BNSF and go on MBACBAR. What'll happen, and the way the program works itself out, when it's an E for empty, it's going to basically give you where it's going as far as the shipper. So it uses that same number. Now when I go in and change it and actually load those empties and bring them back out of the interchange, that'll change. That'll no longer say Sears Valley Minerals via Lone Pine. It'll now say wherever it's going to. And that's the difference, as you can see, like right above there. All these are going to West Colton. There's a whole string in Mojave, South 1 for West Colton. Another cut recently, Mojave 1, North Track. These were set-offs by, I believe, BKYR. And you can see there's some more that's going to Lone Pine. So now I have a whole switch list that I can create based off this data. I just copy it into a nice pretty little report. It's raw data right now, but you know, you got different invoices. I don't want to show you everything here, but basically it starts looking like a prototypical switch list, and it's all based on not me typing in all this information over and over again. It's based basically on me going through a program like this, taking the data, doing the hard part, and those little numbers that I put in each and every one of them basically turns out a nice looking report so people can follow their own switch lists and do their thing. So I'm not going to make this any longer than it needs to be. I just thought I'd show you behind the scenes of what things are like, and hope you enjoyed. Talk to you later.